What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do two looks, swatches, just a little play around with the NABLA Holiday Collection for 2019, otherwise known as their Mystic Collection. This collection is based around the Dreamy 2 Mystic palette, which I have right here. The little box that they sent it in is like literally the cutest. This is the follow-up, the number 2 of the Dreamy palette, which is their original eyeshadow palette. I believe it came out in 2017, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the first thing NABLA ever sent me. So we're having a little bit of a full circle moment here because I have literally loved NABLA ever since. But the collection also contains 2 other products. There are 6 new liquid lipsticks. They're a different formula than their original liquid lipstick. They're called the Dreamy Creamy liquid lipstick, and they are kind of like a satin finish. They're a little bit different than their original liquid lipstick formula in that they are not a matte liquid lip, and from what I can tell, they don't dry down. I don't know about the wear time just yet because I'm still testing them. I will let you know at the end of this video though what I think, because I'm going to test them a little bit in between while I finish up the rest of filming. But I'm going to swatch all of those for you in this video as well, and I'm going to be trying the other item that's in here. This is their Glimmer Light face palette. At first I thought that this was just a highlight palette with 3 different options for different skin tones, and from what I can tell, you can actually use it that way as well. But because these are a translucent formula, which by the way, they remind me a lot of the Fenty Diamond Bomb, but just with like a more colorful backdrop to them, if that makes sense. You can use them kind of as a blush as well. So we're going to be trying it all the ways today. So we're going to do 2 looks with the eyeshadow palette. I will pair that with the face palette. I will pair that with one of the lipsticks for each look, but I will also do individual swatches of all 6 of the liquid lipsticks, which will be at the end of this video. And of course, as always, I'll timestamp the looks and I'll timestamp the swatches so that way you guys can jump to them if you want a certain thing. I'll also timestamp my little thoughts and review at the end, and every single thing that I use in this video will be linked in the description down below. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video before you leave because it's very helpful to me and I really appreciate it. So like, if you wanted to do it now instead of later, just in case you forgot, yeah, I'd be okay with that. And if you're new around here, maybe you just stumbled on this video, maybe you've watched a couple of my videos and you just have not yet decided to subscribe and hang out with me all the time, go ahead and subscribe and hang out with me and talk about makeup all the time, because quite frankly, what's the worst that can happen? You know, if I'm that annoying, if you wind up hating me in a couple of videos, which, yeah, it's a possibility. I hope you don't, but if you do, you just unsubscribe. It's really not that serious. It's worth taking the chance. And I would like it. I would like it if you would. Before we get into it, I also wanted to mention that this was not like intentionally inspired by this, but it wanted to be very similar to a look that a girl that I follow on Instagram for a long time. Her name is Gabriella, but you may know her as Segnaro96. She is very insanely talented. I will link her stuff, her YouTube and her Instagram in the description down below. Check out her look, check out her other amazing face paints that she does, and check out her really lovely soothing YouTube videos because she is incredibly talented, and she did something very similar to this. So I think that's it. That covers that. I have a lot of fun stuff to play with today, so without wasting any more of anybody's time, let's just get right into the first look, which is this look with the NABLA Dreamy 2 Mystic palette. So this is the Dreamy 2 Mystic palette that we're going to be working with today, and this is what it looks like on the inside. Personally, I am super stoked for this shade here, not only because it's one of those vinyl finish mattes that NABLA had come out a while ago. Originally, they were in the little cutie palettes, but because it's like an almost black burgundy, and honestly, no other color has ever been closer to my soul. This palette consists mostly of warm nudes, bronzes, shimmers, and then a few little pops of like purpley pink, kind of mysticky blue purple tones. For the first look, I'm going to stick more in the neutral direction so that way we can pair it with all the lipsticks and get a good idea of how the lipsticks look. I always find that it's easier when you do lip swatches to pair them with a more neutral-ish eye look so that they all have their moment to shine and nothing clashes with them. And for the second one, I'm going to really lean into those jewel tones. And to finish my skin, I'm also going to use the Shimmer Light palette that came out with this collection as well. I forgot to set the mood. Hold on. I haven't worn makeup in like 3 days really, just like bare minimum, and somehow I still have lash glue in my lashes. How? I'm gonna grab my BH number 6, which for those of you keeping track, I found it was on the floor. I'm gonna start by going into the shade Deja Vu, and I'm gonna use that to create a soft transition around my crease, packing it down, and then I'm gonna start blending up. I'm gonna pick up my MAC 221S brush. I'm gonna go into the shade New Past, which is one of the super mattes. I'm gonna start concentrating that more directly through the crease. I'm gonna help warm up that color a little bit, along with deepening it. I'm gonna take that same brush and a little itty bitty bit of New Past again, dipping in just to get a little bit more on the brush. I'm gonna start packing that on the outer half of the lid. Next, I'm gonna take my little Sigma E36 and I'm gonna go into the shade Offline, the one that I was super excited for, which I think that another time I might do a look with this just smoked out. I feel like I've done a lot of black smoky eyes lately, so I won't make that a look in this video. I think I might make it a look just on my face. And I'm gonna take that through the crease, making sure I'm bringing that a little bit above my natural crease as well. Ooh, that's really rich and lovely. Ooh. You ever have the richness of a shade just give you a chill? I'm also gonna put this on the outer portion of the lid, but I'm kind of gonna be a little bit more careful about where I place that. I'm just kind of swooping that down to the lash line and then around the outer corner. I'm gonna take a clean blending brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Pantheon. I'm gonna use that around the outside edge just to soften that blend. Next, I'm gonna grab my NABLA cut crease brush and my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is the shade 30NN, which is the lighter shade that I have. And I'm gonna cut the inside half of the eye and make a nice clean base. And just tap the edge of that out with my ring finger. I'm gonna take my Sigma E06 winged liner brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Offline again. And I'm gonna run that shade directly above where we put the cut just to make more of an actual line around it. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the outer corner, just kind of bring that in at an angle, almost like we're creating a winged liner, but instead of getting winged out, it'll just fade into the blend that we did on the outer portion of the eye. I'm gonna grab my little NABLA dab and smudge brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Lucid Dream. Now, Lucid Dream is the one shade in this palette that is meant to be a translucent topper. So the idea that I'm going for with this is I kind of want it just to look like there's a little bit of like a wet shimmer on the bare portion of the lid rather than like an intense color there. And next to that on the same brush, I'm gonna go into a little bit more of Deja Vu. Just tap over that to blend it into the darker shades that we put on the outer half of the eye. I'm just tapping back over that brown with a little bit more of Lucid Dream just to blend it together and also give a little bit of shimmer on top of that darker shade. I think that gives a nice effect as well. I concealed and powdered under my eyes. I'm still gonna do one more thing on the upper portion of the eyes before we continue though. So I'm gonna add a thin line of black liquid liner right along the lashes. I'm going to connect it into the dark shade we put on the outer corner. I might need to blend those together a little bit with more shadow, but we'll see. But I want to also extend the inner corner a little bit and like give it a little bit more of an interesting shape. So I'm gonna use my Urban Decay Perversion liquid liner and just start by making a very thin line as close to the lash line as I can. I'm gonna extend the inner corner, but I think I need to get really close to my mirror to do this, so you're gonna have to forgive me as I duck away for just a second. As far as how to nail the whole inner corner extension thing with your liner, it's really different for everybody's eye shape, and my advice to you is if you want to get it right, keep practicing it on yourself over and over again. It's really the only way. Also, a brush tip liner is usually ideal. And just to blend that into the outer corner, I'm gonna go back into Offline on that same Sigma E06 winged liner brush. Just gonna tap more of that shade directly onto where we put down the end of that liner, just blend them together a bit. Okay, I wound up having to make the liner a little bit thicker to get them even, but I still really enjoy the effect that we've gotten here. For the lower lashes, I want to keep the lash line open, but I do think we need a little bit of definition on the underneath. So I'm going to take my NABLA small pencil brush. I'm going to go into the shade New Past again, drag that under the lower lashes. I'm going to blend the edge of that with a clean brush. For the waterline, I'm going to grab my Tarte Fake Awake pencil, just put a clean nude through the waterline. And on that same NABLA small pencil brush, I'm gonna go back into Lucid Dream. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that under the extended inner corner and sweep it into the color that we've blended into the lower lash line. It's just gonna be really subtle, just brighten it up a little bit. I'm gonna go finish this up with some lashes and mascara, and then we can try the Glimmer Light palette on the cheeks. I put on House of Lashes Siren Flares because they're a little bit light, but they flare out at the end, so I figured they would flatter the end shape of this a little bit without disturbing what's on the lid because they're nice and light. So the Glimmer Lights palette is what they describe as a multi-reflective illuminating palette. Now you might just think that they're simply highlighters, but from what I understand, they are like a translucent formula. So I'm thinking that we could use the darker shades as a blush that has a little bit of luminance to it and then top it with the lightest shade as a highlight. I'm gonna take this little Luxe 522 brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Reborn, which is the deeper pink, and I'm gonna try that as a shimmery blush. Oh, okay, yeah, you could definitely use this more like a blush that has basically little hints of shimmer in it, almost glitter. Ooh, that's actually really pretty. If you don't like a little bit of, like a little hint of small glitter on your cheeks, you won't like it, but I'm into it. Next, I'm gonna grab my NABLA highlight brush and I'm gonna go into the lightest shade, which is called Super Moon. And I'm going to first top that color on the cheeks with this more as a concentrated highlight. Ooh, oh my God. That reminds me of Fenty Diamond Bomb. Like it's got that veil of shimmer kind of a thing going on. If you don't like Diamond Bomb, if you don't like those like glitter highlights like that, you probably won't like it, but ooh, I like that. As a matter of fact, I bought the new version of Diamond Bomb, the pink one, and this is what I was hoping it would be like. And to be honest with you, you've never seen me use this because I didn't like it. I felt like you couldn't see it at all. Oh my God, I hope you guys can see this on camera. I love that. I'm even gonna put it on my nose. Should I have a glittery nose? Probably not. Do I care? No. Am I gonna do it anyway? Yeah. Essentially, you guys are going to see this look paired with every option because I'm going to use this look to swatch the lip colors. But as far as the actual look, I would probably, especially if it was like a holiday party or something, pair this with a red. So I'm going to use the red one of the new shades that came out in this collection. But unlike with the swatches, I'm going to go ahead and pair that with like a deep lip liner. So it kind of like gives it that little bit of depth and deliciousness to it. So I'm gonna line my lips with the MAC lip pencil in the shade Burgundy. This is usually my go-to when I want a deep burgundy-ish lip liner. When in doubt, MAC lip liner, you know what I mean? And I'm going to use the red shade in this collection. This is called Mood for Love. And this is the first look. So the first look was fun with a little bit of like a neutral sort of a situation, but with this one, we're gonna get a little bit more celestial, my babies. I'm gonna mix two shades together to start the crease area. I'm gonna mix Deja Vu and Pantheon. I'm just mixing those together to get a little bit of a lighter shade. I'm gonna take my MAC 221S, and this time I'm gonna mix Deja Vu with a little bit of New Past. I want to deepen, but also warm. I like using colors that are warmer to blend into like really cool tones. I just like the way that looks. I like the little bit of contrast that it gives. On the same brush, I'm gonna go into a little bit of Dionysus to really warm up the crease with that. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that on the same brush and I'm gonna put it on the outer corner of the lid, just at the very end. You might not even wind up seeing this on the lid. It's just to connect those shades on the outer corner instead of having like a line and then more color. Do you know what I mean? What drives me crazy, I have like a little vein right there and it causes a crease and it makes my shadow look darker right there sometimes and I don't like it. I'm gonna take my little NABLA Deb and smudge brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Rem. I'm gonna pat that over the entire open space on the lid. I'm using that dry for the time being. See if I think we need to use it wet. So far I don't think so. That looks really nice the way it is. I'm gonna take that same brush. I'm gonna mix a little bit of Rem together with Offline and I'm going to use that on the outer portion of the lid just to deepen it up a little but kind of keep that same color. And next I'm going to grab my Sigma E36. I'm going to go into Offline on its own, deepen the outer corner very concentratedly. That's not a word, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. I'm also going to sweep that through the crease a little bit. I'm actually going to take a little bit of Rem on that brush and just kind of tap it over the whole thing. I like that like cosmic blue shimmer look that it's providing us. Next, I'm going to go into this shade Mirabilia. I pick it up on my ring finger and I'm going to pop it right in the center of the lid. Because what do we need in this look if not more shimmer, am I right? I want to add a white liquid liner to this look. One that I've been leaning toward using the most lately is the Suva Beauty Hydro Liner in the color Space Panda. This is just like a cake liner that you activate with either water or Fix Plus or a facial spray. And I'm going to apply that using a little nail art brush because it's the way I like to do it. Get some precision, you know? But I think white would be a good complement to this because I do want to add like a little bit of structure to it, but I want to keep like that spacey look, you know what I mean? All right, so the white liner's on. As I'm sure most of my fellow makeup lovers out there are aware, it's really difficult to get white liner even sometimes. What I like about this Suva one is that once it dries, you can go in with another coat and like go over it and build it up to like a nice smooth level of opacity, and it doesn't get crumbly and crackly like a lot of them do. Like if you build up enough, eventually it will, but it's like it takes a while to get there. So it's one of the better ones in that regard. Not waterproof though, which is not ideal. Wish it was. Take my BH number 7 brush. I'm gonna go into New Past. I'm gonna start running that underneath my lower lash line. I'm gonna take this little NABLA liner and brows brush and I'm gonna go into Offline again. I'm gonna sweep that underneath the outer portion of the lashes. What I love about doing this when I do white liner, and I feel like you guys who watch my videos a lot have heard me say this before, so sorry for repeating myself, but I like that when you do a white liner and then you smoke out the lower lash line, it almost gives it an illusion of depth as if the liner is creating like a little bit of a drop shadow on your face. And that is something that I enjoy very much doing in makeup when I do like more creative stuff. For the waterline, I'm going to use something a little bit glittery and a little bit bluish because I want to like pick up on those tones, make it a little bit more fun, that mystic, cosmic, stars in the sky kind of a feel. I'm going to use LSD from Urban Decay. And for the inner corner, I'm going to grab a pencil brush and I'm going to go into the shade Libertine. This is one of the glittery shades. This is a new formula from them. It has a specific name. Hang on, let me look it up on the website. Like a responsible beauty YouTuber. It's called a Super Sparkle. Ooh, pop that right on the inner corner of the eye. I'm going to sweep it underneath to meet with those browns. Ooh, I kind of wish I used that like over my whole lid somewhere. I love that. I want to use more. I'm gonna go touch up this liner and finish this eye, add some lashes, and then we will move on to add some cheek and some lip with this. You know what? I lied. Before I put on my lashes, before I do my mascara, before I move on to the face, I'm gonna add just like the tiniest little detail, and yeah, this might be a terrible mistake or you might not be able to see it at all. I'm gonna grab my Fenty Vivid Liner in the color Wet T-shirt, and I'm gonna use this to just make like tiny little speckles coming from the underside of the wing. Why? You know what? I don't know, but right now it just feels right. Now I'm gonna put some lashes and mascara on, and then we can move on to the face. So I put on my Stella Luxe lashes, and now it's time to add a little bit something to the cheek area. So I'm gonna go into the shade Elixir, picking that up on this weird old Tarte brush that I refuse to get rid of, and just sweeping that on the upper cheek area. It's like a nice orangey peach shade with like a pretty gold sheen to it. I actually quite like that a lot. I need to like blend something over here because my contour looks gross and muddy, but that's not the fault of this. I just did something wrong before we started filming, clearly. And I could go ahead and top that with the lighter shade in here, but because the lighter shade is a little bit pink toned, I think I'm gonna skip that because I don't want this to be like over the top, like intergalactic planetary sort of a feel. Overall, I just want to kind of keep it a little bit more subtle on the cheek area. I'm gonna grab the NABLA Skin Glazing highlight, which is another favorite of mine from them, in the color Amnesia. This is not like a NABLA sponsored video or anything, by the way. I just use a ton of their products generally, so then like on top of their collection, it seems like a lot. I wish they were paying me, trust me, but they are not. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that on a highlight brush and just sweep it over the higher points of the cheeks. And luckily, that's helping to cover up the muddiness of my contour, so that's nice. And because like I said, I don't know when to stop, I'm going to grab my Milk Makeup tattoo stamp in the star shape, and I'm gonna add that underneath the eye. Should I? Maybe, maybe not. Am I? I'm gonna. I had to go to Trader Joe's after this. They're gonna look at me like I'm really weird when I go there, because every time I wear a like something like this, I always get like a little bit of a look from people. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care though. I don't care. They look. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. For the lips, I'm gonna combine two of the creamy dreamy lipsticks that I wound up wearing yesterday after I filmed, and I liked the combination, but I think I'm gonna add a liner into the mix, which I will explain why later in my little review portion. The liner I'm gonna use today is the HAUS Laboratories Rule Lip Liner, and I'm gonna combine the shade Adam's Dream and what are you called? Hedonist. And this is the second look. Now that these two looks are done, let's just jump right into the lip swatches so you guys can see how these colors sit on the lips and what each of them looks like. And then we'll get into my thoughts on it all at the end.
Those medical pills are pushing me over. I give my fill 3 times a day. These ethanol fumes won't make me sober. One flame to take the pain away. I caught you lighting matches in the back room. Haters look mad when they pass you. Let's talk about around when it's past due. Reach a glass, do no. You don't gotta fight alone. You don't gotta fight alone. Don't be so personal. I'm going under.
Okay, so now that we've gone through all of the products, I'm really glad actually we got to use all 3 colors of the face palette and everything. I didn't use every single shadow in the eye palette, but we used most of them, so I got a really thorough view of this collection. The eyeshadow palette, I feel like the formula in this palette is particularly beautiful. I've always been a fan of NABLA shadows, but for some reason, something about I think maybe it's the super matte formula that I'm experiencing for the first time, especially the shade New Past. I felt like it was just so like whoosh, done and blended without really a whole lot of effort. I already really liked the latex mattes. I like the finish that they give on the lid. The color Offline, I did notice had quite a bit of fallout, which I always say it doesn't really bother me, but I know it drives some people crazy, so I always like to mention it in the video. But in general, the shade is so rich and so pretty. I really like it a lot. And the reason I like that finish is because I feel like it gives a nice smooth texture when you apply it, but you could also just use it as a proper matte shade and it still deepens an area. It doesn't have so much luminosity to it that it comes off as like a shimmer or like a shiny shadow or even like a satin or anything. It's just got like that just little hint. It's almost like if a shadow was a luminous face powder, if that makes sense. Like there's something there, but you can barely even put your finger on it. The only thing that I feel like might be missing from this palette is I wish there was like a really rich dark brown or a completely matte, like maybe one of the super mattes in black. I do like to deepen looks with things like that, and I do like to have like a proper black or like a really rich dark brown in a palette. Personally, just for the way I do makeup, it just works out better for me. Offline does kind of fill that role, but because it has a little bit more of a color to it, I wish that there was something that was completely neutral so that I can like lean into the cooler tones in here and not really pick up that warmth. The one topper shade in here, Lucid Dream, very pretty. Definitely something that you could use over the lid by itself, like on a really light makeup day, maybe with just like a nice fluttery pair of lashes and a cute lip, and it would be super convenient and very flattering. On a whole, I think the palette's beautiful and it's definitely very on brand for a Dreamy 2 palette, and quite frankly, I am looking forward to creating a few more looks with this week. I didn't do 3 in this video just because with the swatches and everything, I felt like it was going to be 35 minutes long and it was like a bit much. But keep your eye out on Instagram, especially on my stories, because if I just throw together a look with this, I'll just probably post it on there. The Glimmer Light palette is really interesting because I don't really think that I have anything that's quite like this, in the sense that it's like a sheer color with glitter for your face. Like I said, it reminds me a bit of the Fenty Diamond Bomb formula in the sense that it's like a highlight, but it's also just like a glitter. Unlike Diamond Bomb, it does have like that background of sheer color to it, so you can use it to add color to your face. Personally, I really like the pink one, which is called Super Moon, because like I said, it is what I wanted the new Fenty Diamond Bomb to be, and it wasn't. So for me, this is like filling a void in my soul. Moving on to the lipsticks, I think you guys could tell from the way they swatched, the formula is creamy dreamy is really a great way to put it. It's very creamy. It goes on very opaque. It's so smooth. There's a little bit of a plumper in it, which you can sort of notice a little bit of like a minty tingle, but it's not intense. If you don't like plumpers, you're probably not even going to notice it. I don't think it would bother you. It was just like for a quick second, I was like, oh, minty, and then that was gone. But the texture on the lips is like really smoothing and very flattering. So I wore this combination that's on my lips right now yesterday after I filmed for the rest of the day, but I didn't put a liner with it. It wore better than I expected, considering that they are creamy and they don't dry down. Like, I didn't have to reapply my lipstick for most of the day, but when I went into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror later in the day, like hours and hours later, I did notice that there was like a little bit of feathering around the edge of my lip, which is not something I generally deal with. I don't have a lot of fine lines around my lips, so I'm not really sure what caused that. Maybe I over applied, but that's the reason why I chose to pair it with a liner today. Personally, I would probably always pair this with a liner anyway. I don't think that this would be something that I would wear on its own. Most things nowadays I wear with a liner. I just like the dimension and the depth and the ability to reshape my lips that a liner gives me. But in the case of something like this, whether it is because I over applied or not, because you know that I love to like over apply my lip products and like make them look really juicy, you know? The liner helps to create a texture barrier, which should solve that problem. So for me, not a big deal. But if you're somebody who has prominent fine lines around your lips, or you deal with feathering often with lip products, maybe that could be a problem for you. I cannot confirm because I only wore it the one time. It was really minor, but worth mentioning. The colors though, and the texture just on the whole, outside of that, I think these are phenomenal though. And quite frankly, I think these two shades as a combo are going to be like the colors that I keep in my purse as like my go-to nudes. You know, you always have like the purse nudes. This might be it for a while. One more thing, this is the makeup bag that came out with this collection, and I think it's really gorgeous and is very cute for holiday. Like if you were gonna gift this to somebody, this is really pretty. NABLA always does amazing makeup bags to come out with each and every collection. Anyway, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the looks of this collection. Please let me know if you have tried any of it. What were your thoughts? Were your experiences similar to mine? I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below, especially now that NABLA is being carried at more US retailers. I think that a lot of you guys are getting more of a chance to try their stuff, which is really exciting to me because I have loved this brand for so long, but I know it was like a little bit less convenient when you only had to order off their website. Now you can do it at Ulta, and I think Sephora as well, and also Morphe. So like they're I predicted this. I said a couple years ago, watch out, they're going to be everywhere, and I was right. Look at that. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you had a good time hanging out today, because I would love to have you around. Go ahead and find me on Instagram if you want to see me between videos. You know, you want to catch up day to day. You want to see what I post over there, stories, PR unboxings, polls. Give me suggestions on Christmas movies. That's what we were doing this weekend, and wow, you guys came through with the suggestions. Instagram is generally a good time on the day to day, and I would love to have you. I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful or something. I don't know. I hope you found something good in it. Thank you for hanging out with me and talking about makeup today. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one. With the, please don't forget to leave a like on this video before you leave, because wait, well, don't stop it. I gotta do pop socket and it sucks. Stop. Why are you like this? So I don't want to take up too much time. Get it back.